Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Garage, guys. Once again, dude, technology playing tricks on us, huh? We find ourselves just kind of re-recording an episode. This one is brand new, by the way, but we recorded one with my brother Dozer. It's about transitioning from a diamond club, from a 1% club into a 99 percenter from more traditional club. So that's epic, man. But I'm excited about this one. This one is about. It's funny because we saw each other this morning, and I told you, hey man, get angry, get that angry you for tonight. We're just like we were in a parking lot and we were discussing about this. What are we talking today, Abner?
Yeah, today we're talking about life at full throttle. Are we living at the right pace? And really, what we want to talk about is, how fast are we moving? Are we moving at the right pace? And the what call it the dangers of just moving too fast. Not only on the bike, right? Because going too fast can lead to catastrophic results, especially if you're not up to skill. If your skill is not there and you
Mm-hmm.
go too fast, you'll find out real quick, real fast, that it can turn out real ugly. But not only that, we're talking about in life. Sometimes we wanna skip forward. We wanna hurry up and get there. And to be honest, sometimes it's hurry up and wait, and nobody likes to wait. So,
Yeah, yeah.
is that the right thing? So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, and uh,
It's funny, dude, because we have a road here in South Florida. It's called 27 Okeechobee Road,
hmm,
and it's Interstate 27. Interstate, I don't remember. Um, Long story short is that coming to South Florida to from West Palm Beach down, there's nothing. It's just a straight and narrow
yeah,
road, right? So
hmm,
it has some turns here and there, but it's Florida, so we don't have turns. And it is a lot of fun to just open up the bike in there and just kind of go to full throttle.
yeah,
And it's fun, but you can only do that for a second because this is what you start seeing the lines just being a blur, just going by you, and that's fun, but to a certain extent, this is on a Harley at least, it's unsustainable for a long period of time. Two things are going to happen: you're going to be an idiot and you're going to make a mistake, and your gas is going to you're going to have to fill up really quick on a
yeah,
Harley because she's
yeah,
not meant to be ridden like that.
yeah,
So life is like that, right? Like life is exactly like that. And life is and we live in a day and age of instant gratification.
yeah,
People. I just signed up.
100%.
I signed up for the gym, so but I'm still haven't lose weight. I'm just gonna go check what happened because I have been there, but or 3 months has passed, and why not developing muscles? Let me get let me get the shot. Let me get it happens. So everybody wants everything free or really quick
They want it right away. It's what
right
we've
away.
we've grown accustomed to the microwave, right? You want that food heated up, just give it 10 seconds and it's good to go, right? And that's what a lot of people end up quitting a lot of processes and a lot of things because, like you say, they don't see the progress soon enough, quick enough,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it's not like that.
And listen, I was sharing with some of my guys today that everybody likes to clap for the guy that just man, I just turned Sunday into today, or I just started this journey and just starting, and everybody claps for the guy, but nobody claps for the one that shows up every single day. Nobody claps for the one that is consistent. Nobody claps for that guy, and that guy doesn't get as much praise as the one that is just beginning. But what we don't know is that the one that should get the praise is the one that is still in the journey, the one that embraces the journey. That's the one that should get the praise. The one that shows up at 5 o'clock in the morning at the gym, the one that shows up, for the kids, even though the kids don't want to talk to him, the one that shows up for the wife, even though he's having issues. And we were discussing about that this morning, dude. That life is a long ride. It's not a quarter mile. And we need
Yeah,
to be mindful of that.
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. The marathon
It's
not a
not a
sprint.
it's
So
not a, it's not a 100 yard dash, 100
yeah,
meter
I cannot do
dash.
either. Have you done a 5K or something like that ever?
Well, I've walked it, I've walked it. And way back in the day when I was in college, I was in the ROTC and we would have to do the PT and the mile and whatnot. So, yeah, I think we've all at some point been able to do it, but it's definitely not a dash.
So, and there is a season in life. Ecclesiastes speaks about this. There is a season in life where you have to push. There's a season in life where you have to push, right? So, and this is something that we wanna, we wanna discuss today. So let's start with, let's open the discussion with the following: the decades of a man life, and this is something pretty interesting. Straight up, I stole this from internet. I saw it on the internet, and I said, "Man, this is pretty interesting because it is kind of like a reflection of who we are as men, right?" So we're gonna be talking about what you're supposed to be doing on your 20s, on your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, and in your 60s. Kudos to you, you should be retiring. So in the 20s, you're supposed to be building your foundation, right? It's a season where you're still discovering yourself. If you're a dude, you're a man. If you're a lady, please do understand this. We are no longer teenagers. We're still discovering ourselves. We don't know who we are in our 20s, and we're still, this is a lot of stamina, and normally goes, is when we start, the trap of comparison starts here, because we see that, so and so became a realtor, and he just got $60,000 commission, and he bought himself a condo, you know. So what is the time where we start getting independence and handle responsibility, and we're developing relationships, and expanding our network. So that's something that we do. We're building our foundation. What else do we do there?
Listen, man, you know what? It's interesting because, and I'm gonna be a little bit of the voice of discord, maybe, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, right? I'm gonna differ a little bit because again, this is perhaps by and large what's out there, but I'm gonna be the devil's. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate because if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not gonna look it up or Google it, but I believe that the human brain really matures and reaches. I want to say a certain level of development. I think it's in the mid 20s,
Mm-hmm.
right? So really, I think that it's. We could also argue that in your mid 20s, you're still maybe you're discovering yourself. You're discovering.
Yeah.
We go to college. You go to college right after high school, which now that I'm a little bit older, don't let the white hair fool you. I'm not that old, but now I'm a little bit older. I truly believe that it's not a bad idea for some people to maybe not jump into college immediately so that they can kind of discover who they want to be, right? So that might, throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in that career exploration. Although I'm not talking about taking 10 years, from your kids to the almost 30s,
Well,
and
we
then
see it.
have that. I'm still discovering myself. But definitely, I think that if you're still kind of finding your way, I wouldn't feel pressured. I would beg you to take it easy. Just do your thing. Be and discover who you want to be. And I think that one of my points of views that I'll keep repeating it all the time during this podcast is that we always have time to change. We can reinvent ourselves in any one of these stages, right? So when we're 20, yeah, sure. Career exploration, I dig it. Gaining independence, for sure. That's reasonable. And again, developing your relationships and expanding your network, that's phenomenal. All I would say is make sure that you're in the right mindset for that. And if you're not, then just continue to develop it, right? To
And
continue to
listen,
work on it.
I agree with you on the college thing. It's straight out of high school going to college. It was hard for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we see it on the. I mean, and you're talking to a guy that went through three different schools, three different. I mean, I did journalism, then I did computer science, and I ended up graduating as a theologian, with a degree in theology. So it's and it's difficult. we see it on the greatest generation, right? Which is the generation that started out of high school. You're just gonna go fight the World War II. So that generation, they didn't have a choice. They didn't have, oh, I'm gonna go to college. They didn't have that.
Yeah.
That kind of situations give you a different perspective of life, and that's why, yeah, we have a lot of career professionals, but we have a lot of vocational professionals.
Yeah.
The vocational professional is starting there because not everybody, when you have this kind of life experience, you understand that sitting in a classroom, it might not be for you, man. I mean, you might, you might want to do, and there is nothing wrong with that, right? So, but it's a decade for building foundations. You should be really, really, really rushing to build foundations. You shouldn't be rushing. You shouldn't open that door to say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, man. If you have that clear, I have one of my daughters. She got it clear. She's the youngest one. The other one is exploring it. It's exploring the different alternatives, right? So, I'm okay with both, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Uh-huh.
both. I know one that, the second that she hits the street out of high school, she's going to go full speed. But the other one doesn't have that just yet. So I'm okay with that, bro. Like,
Yes.
honestly.
Definitely. I think and I think that it's important for us to know that, you know, so like for example, myself, I went when I went to college because that was the education, and I think that you and I, we both got, we're kind of like, I'm just a little bit younger than you, so
Really.
but I but I'm not fooled by your hair. I know that shampoo that you're using, but
Just for
like
me.
our parents were like, you going to school, you're going to college. There
Yeah,
wasn't that
yeah.
opportunity to think about, well, wait a minute, what about a trade school? What about,
Uh-huh.
can I discover what I really want to do? And on the other hand, we also had ideas like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. I have this idea, and we construct based on ideas, not perhaps reality. Oh, this is how it's going to be. When life is really, really different, and it has a way of throwing, very much similar to the road. You're going down a road, it seems straight until you all of a sudden you got a 90 degree, you got almost a super close curve, and if you're going too
Hmm.
fast, now you're in the bush, right? Because you didn't see that curve creeping up on you. And that's just the way it is on the bike. It's in life. And unfortunately, I would have loved to have an opportunity to really evaluate other options.
Yeah.
But again, it is what it is,
It
and
is
we
what it
and,
is. You
and,
you,
and we
you
got to
work
deal
with
with
what
what we got to deal with.
exactly. So listen, 30s is called, and I put this title in here: full throttle grind mode, man. On your 30s, you should be grinding. This is when you should be just working. This is when you put the overtime of your life. You have the energy, my man. You have the you should be advancing your career, looking for promotions. You should be building a family. I was a dad when I was 28, almost 30, right? And establishing stability, stepping into leadership, like discovering that this kind of stuff, and just focus on financial growth. This is when you make money. This is when it's funny because everybody says to, oh, you get your and they said to my kids, you truly get your scholarships in 10 and 11th grade. You don't get it on 12, because no school can see your 12th grades degree. So this is when you earn your retirement. This is when you're definitely. This is not the time to rest. This is not the time to play, sit around playing PlayStation. This is the time to grind, and this is the full throttle time. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah. No, you know what? I agree 100%, man. When you're 30, you can work more. You have the strength, you have the ability. The Bible even mentions about, doing things when you're young, because that's when you have the strength, because we're going to
Hmm.
grow older, and when we're older we don't have the same amount of strength. So definitely, if you have that career, if you are where you're at, for sure go full throttle and definitely work on it. I've been telling my niece and my nephew and trying to talk to them about, and they're in their early 20s, right? So they're in college, and my
Hmm.
niece is she's ready to graduate. But I'm telling her right now, plan ahead financially speaking, right? How to work that, how to make sure that they build credit. But you should already have a foundation built like what we were talking about, and now it's the time to hit the hammer and drop it hard and go for it. However, my story is that I got married at 33. So I wasn't nowhere as, relationship wise. I wasn't. And that was okay also.
Hmm.
Cuz and it's so important that people that are listening, if you're listening and today you're in your 30s and you don't, they're like, "Yo, I'm desperate, man. I got to." That desperation might lead you into other situations, other problems, right? If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Everything is in God's timing. But if you can, why not? Work hard.
Yeah, 30s is an interesting decade. This is where I was putting over time. I was going, I didn't have, I mean, the kids were babies, so I didn't have issues like working. The kids are sleeping and going to work the whole night. I remember doing side projects, just and I'm trying to do now, dude. I don't have the energy because this is the yeah. Go
You
ahead.
had you built businesses. You
Yeah,
employed families during that time. So
yeah,
definitely, yeah, you have a lot of grinding and a lot of evidence of that grinding.
yeah. It was that's it for me. But this I absolutely love in the 40s. And we were just talking upstairs with my wife, and she was like, "Man, in 2 years you're gonna be 50." And I said, "You know what I want?" He said, "What did you want?" I said, "You know what I want? I want a brand new motorcycle, brand spanking new motorcycle. That's the year that I'm gonna get a brand spanking new motorcycle, and I'm just gonna travel with you, no kids, just you and I." But this is the season of reflection and alignment, and I absolutely love this one because
Mm.
in your 30s, you kind of find yourself at the end of your 30s. You find yourself. This is what happened to me. I don't know. Vanity of vanity. Everything is vanity. You hear Solomon just saying, "Man, honestly, I'm done grinding. I need to focus on what God has for me and my purpose." And this is the season where I'm finding that. It's a season for finding purpose. It's a season for and you said it before for you to kind of like reinvent yourself, right? So it's a season to reinvent yourself. It's a season to what is really important in my life. What is what matters, and you became hyper focused. You don't open the full throttle, but when you see the opening, when you see that you're in a full throttle, but when you see the opening, you just go through it. You are seizing opportunities. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, again, right at 40s, you've already been on the earth for three decades. So that's you know, it's a while. If we think about it, that's you're almost at the midway.
Yeah,
Because if you're lucky, you live to 80, right? So 30, you're almost there, and by the time you're 40, you're like at that midpoint. Now, I don't want to think about
yeah.
it like that, but that's what it is.
That is what it is, right?
So definitely, I think that yeah, you're that assessment and evaluation, and still you have time, right? You're still within a time frame because even if you have to reinvent yourself, because I keep thinking about I believe it was Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford didn't get a major role in the movies, if I'm not mistaken, until his 40s. So just imagine that. I mean, and I mean, everybody loves Harrison Ford, Han Solo, Indiana Jones, and it was in his 40s. Until his 40s, he was a carpenter before that, right? So it can still be that anytime in life can be a moment of that breakthrough. Be ready for it. But I love the fact that you have to keep the mindset of assessing and reevaluating. And if you're not 100% happy, and I don't think anybody is going to be 100% happy, because there's always more. You can always want and aspire for more. Then be on the lookout and be ready to grab it.
You know what happened to me with this season? Contentment. I discovered the word contentment, and I actually started the word contentment.
So being content, being happy.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't equate it to words because I mean I believe joy, right, and happiness, but being content, being okay with it, being okay with man, I'm being grateful. Also, it's a season for me. In the 40s was a season for me to I discover gratefulness to another level, right? Like I also think, but being grateful for what I have, being grateful for and you know this, man. We were discussing this last year. Our pastor challenged us to have a vision, and I didn't put a motorcycle on the vision board or anything like that, or in my vision, and therefore she's no and a change. And I'm, dude, and I'm being great. I am grateful for what I have, and I'm grateful. You know, I want to better what I have, but I'm being grateful. And you lead from the perspective of being grateful and being content with what you have because you are enjoying what God has given you, right? So,
Amen. Amen.
and it's just reassessing, reinventing yourself, but from that platform, not for the platform that, oh my God, I'm comparing myself, I need to cry, and you know, because when listen, I'm an idiot. When I'm going shooting and I'm going to the shooting range, the guy that is next to me, I'm competing with that guy. He doesn't know it, but I'm competing with him. When we are on a motorcycle and this and that, and I see another group, for some reason I just try to catch up to them because I need to win the race. And this, what happened with that is that I'm not riding my ride. That is not my race to run. So
Yeah.
sometimes what we do is that because of the trap of comparison, we just want to join someone else's race, and that is not right. You should be running your
100%.
own. You should be on your lane instead. Hey, Kevin Hart said, "Stay in your lane, stay in your lane, bro." And that's something that happens. I also think that you discover in your 40s, right? We still have some that guy from the 30s that wants to do it, but in your 40s you shouldn't be doing that anymore.
I agree 100%. You know what? So I'm a fan of logical thinking in the sense of you say, like, for example, you didn't you're working on that being content and grateful, and that's key. I love it because you know what, we should be grateful for everything we have, be it a little bit or if we have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was Paul that said, I've known to be rich and I've known to be poor,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
in everything, I'm just grateful. And that is so important because that gives us and allows us to have peace in our hearts. That doesn't mean that you're going to be complacent. And that's important, at least for me. I mean, you don't have to be complacent. You can
Which
be
is
content,
completely.
of
Mm-hmm.
course. And that
You
is,
give it.
I would say this, it is you should not be complacent. You should work and aspire for more. That's something that we all should participate in being, you know what? I want more. I want to be a better provider. I want to be able to have more, to be able to bless people more. There's no now the problem, or maybe the issue is when nothing's ever enough. Now that maybe you're going too far, right? You can have a Bentley and you're thinking, well, you know what? I don't want one Bentley. I want two Bentleys. I want three Bentleys. Well, wait a minute. At what cost? Right? So now you have to start thinking, okay, what am I sacrificing? Because everything has a cost. Don't get it wrong. You wanna when you're grinding in those 30s. I remember when I was working overtime, I thank God that my wife wasn't here in Florida with me because I was working at night. I would come home, sleep three
I
hours, go
remember.
back
Yeah, I
out,
remember. I
go
remember.
out, and I was hitting it with two hands. I was hitting work,
You bought a house, right? With that,
but because
but
that's
now it's your season to
that's
enjoy the house.
now exactly now we're gonna okay now I don't I would love to be able to hit it hard. I have to be here for my family. I can't be
Yeah.
I be all the time working because.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we don't have a small child. Our daughter's 29 years old, bless her heart. So she's a woman. I don't have to be here with her, but we do have to have time for our families. Do we want to sacrifice that time for the grind? That's for you to decide.
Yeah.
But I think it's just important, way important, that we understand that yes, contentment is good, complacency, not necessarily. And the other thing, you mentioned something about the comparison. You know what? Ride your ride, live your life, You want to have people that you want to look up to, that's fine. Find people that you can kind of say, hey, you know what, like for example, I think that we have people in our lives, people that we know that we would say, you know what, man, I really admire him because
Mm-hmm.
he's a great provider. He has this, he has that, and God has blessed him with that. And if he's been blessed like that, I know God can bless me also. But the reason you mentioned something about the bike, and I'm jumping all over the place, but you mentioned something about your bike. He says, I don't have a bike in my mind. That's good. You know why? Because you have a great bike.
Absolutely.
Enjoy it, right? You don't need to think about, oh,
So
I want,
I want another
it
bike, and
just
I
gets
want to
crazy.
know. It's about now. What I'm thinking is planning. What am I gonna do with the bike this year, right? Like, I mean, where am I gonna ride? And so, I texted a couple people already. Say, hey man, can I crash your place? And some couple brothers that can I crash your place this weekend? Can I do this? So I can actually, book my weekend so I can ride longer
Hmm.
distances and just visit
Yeah.
other towns and just kind of like, do that kind of stuff, which is really, is pretty interesting. So listen, in your 50, you are thinking about legacy. You're thinking about what you're going to be leaving behind you. If you have kids, which is your case, for instance, you're thinking about in my case, it's all about, I'm extremely happy right now because my kids are driving. Well, one of my kids is driving, but we are seeing that she's going to go to college and she's not going to live with um, 400,000 half a million dollar worth of debt or anything like that, because we have set her up for that. And it's all about
Hmm.
legacy. It's about ensuring your financial. Now you send them to college and you're 50 now. You need to take care of yourself, take care of you and your wife, right? So this is what the people do, and you are adapting to the physical challenges, right? So I guess that the full throttle is opening this one when you see an opportunity to save money, and when you see an opportunity to say, hey, go to work to the kids, and that's it, and go find your own way, and I'm going to, what's going to happen with my room? I'll turning that into an efficiency and turn an office or whatever. Your money's to the Pilates, whatever is the case. And this is when we do the full throttle in the season. Anything that you want to add to that one, buddy?
Yeah,
And
no,
I
no,
cannot add more because I'm not there yet. I
no.
see it, but I'm not there yet.
Me neither, man. I mean, I may look like I'm 60. I'm not there yet either, but definitely I believe 100% in legacy. I think that and that's something that we've been instilled at our church, the importance of
Yeah,
legacy. So many
yeah,
people
yeah.
live a life and they don't really consider legacy, fam. If you're listening to this, think about the following. And this is, we don't do things for that reason, but that is, it's super important that what I mean, God forbid if something were to happen to you, what are you leaving your family? And it's not all about the money, but also what have they learned? What did you teach them? If you have sons, did you ever teach them how to change tires, change some oil in the vehicle, and how to take care of the day? Learn certain things that are super basic, but even if you have girls, teach them, have them know,
Mhm.
because they will appreciate it so much when somebody's trying to tell them that they need to change the blinker fluid. It's like, what, blinker fluid? Yeah, sure, go ahead. It's $50, and that doesn't even exist, right?
Mhm.
I've taken the time to teach my daughter. This is what happens when you change the oil. This is what happens when you change the brakes, so that they can know. And also other lessons in life, right? That's what we're talking about. And then the financial aspects is super important. We know people that have, in their 50s, all of a sudden they're dropping dead. I was just reading Irv Gotti, a music producer, dead at 54. Don't know what happened, right?
My mom
But
passed away at 52, man.
there you go. And that's
52.
it's to think that, if we don't prepare, if we don't have something in line, what are the possibilities of, the family being kind of stranded and at the mercy of what could happen to them? So definitely legacy is super important, and
And that's important because, like, legacy is not always money.
not
Legacy
at
is not,
all.
we're not talking about leaving an inheritance, like, I mean,
No,
or
not at
leaving,
all.
That's not what we're talking about. My mom, I mean, I can tell you, like, you probably know this, but more than money, she left me out with some trouble that we need to cover for her, right?
Yeah.
I was like, thank you, mom. The thing is that she gave us a lot of values, and we were able to fence for ourselves. Although, I was 20 something, but we were able to fence for ourselves and actually kind of move ahead and move on and go to the other side, right? Like, whatever you want to call it. So we
Yeah.
had that
Praise.
opportunity, and that was
Yeah.
legacy.
Praise God. She built a foundation in you,
She did,
and
that she did.
that's legacy, brother. That's legacy.
Yeah.
That's a legacy.
So listen, 60. This is since we put in here beyond 60 and beyond is reflection and enjoyment. And I'm going to there's people that my in-laws are in their 60s. My dad is in his 80s, and I see my in-laws, man. I dude, I want to have that life, man. They have some. They're having so much fun. They work really hard for what they have. They're having so much fun. My mother-in-law right now, she said that she's going to Europe with us in May. She's gonna stay there because she's gonna stay there another 2 months, 3 months, and that's what they do. They travel and they get to travel and they get to enjoy their time because they built a foundation and they were able to grind and they were through all stage. So in here, full throttle means go ahead and enjoy, dude. Go out, you deserve it. If you made it to 60 and you are capable and able to retire, just go ahead and enjoy retirement. However does that look, right? Because there's people that are never going to retire 100%. I think that I'm never going to be able to retire 100%. I need to do something. I need projects. I need to do something. I need to use my brain. Um, Here we have a podcast, right? Like, I mean, that we don't need to do, but we have a podcast and we suffer for the podcast that we don't. It's not making making $0 for us, but we suffer for this podcast. So I think that this one is important, and when we say full throttle, say, hey, the intentionality here should be on this. So what do you think about that one, buddy?
No, again, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, if you're 60, and you have that blessing of being able to enjoy not having to work, not having to financially be worried about anything, well, definitely, you know what? Enjoy every day. You wake
Mm-hmm.
up and look for something to do, whatever it is, enjoyment. And this is why I really love and I admire all those older older people that are riding still and just enjoying their bikes and getting new bikes, and when they're when the electric glide or the ultra limited is getting too heavy for them, then they swap out to a trike. I
Yes,
think
sir.
that
Yes, sir. We've
that's
seen it. We've seen it.
phenomenal.
We've seen it time and time again, right?
Yeah, and you know what, I love it, man. Shout out to Bob from our Hawk chapter, right? And Bobby is up there, man. But he rides and he still
He rides
rides. I mean, all
everywhere.
the way to
He
New
puts in
Jersey,
bows.
right? He puts miles. He puts a lot of young bucks to shame with the amount of miles that he puts on his bike. So that's what it's all about, right? Enjoying that time, enjoying his opportunities for riding and for any other hobbies, right? Enjoying the grandkids. We people that their grandkids are, you know, their joy and their focus in this season. So 100%, that's a blessing.
It is, man. It is. I honestly, kind of envy people that have the time to do that. But I'll get there. I'm not rushing to get there. That's for sure. I wanna enjoy this season of life. This season where I am right now is awesome. So listen, let's talk about some of the dangers of rushing processes. And we're just talking about, we talk about a couple decades, how, what life is going to, we kind of dissect that for you. So some of the dangers of rushing the process. And we were discussing this that in motorcycle culture, club culture, it is highly, 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 highly. I mean, it's going to put you on. It's going to give you another month of penalty when you ask, "Hey, when am I going to get patches? What do you think?" And you're trying to rush the process, and you're trying to do more, and you're trying to because that is something that especially full patches when we smell that and we don't like it, and it's just going to put you in a different um, cabinet. We'll put you. Yeah, they put you in the freezer. Let me put it to you that way.
Yeah.
We'll put you in the freezer. What are some of the dangers of rushing processes and rushing in life there?
Yeah, so I think that it's important that we all understand the following. Like very much like in life, right? Everything has a reason. There's a reason for everything. I remember when I was at school or when I was a child, I wanted to be an adult. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to be able to drive. I couldn't wait after I was driving. I can't wait to have I can't wait to work. I can't wait to go to college. I can't wait to graduate. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And always, every time, all the time, I was looking forward. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to really enjoy the present, the process of, what I was doing at the moment.
Hmm.
When you're prospecting or when you're in mentorship, like in our ministry, that is your time for really discovering, is this what I really want? Is this where God wants me? If you're getting in the way thinking, oh, I want to be, I want to do, I want to, I mean, like you just, in our ministry, you can become an area contact, which is really just somebody that's going to be in an area. You're a full patch, and right, you have the responsibility of representing the ministry, but you also have responsibilities. You have and did you lose me? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I lost you for a second. I lost you.
I'm
I
back.
lost you for
I'm
a second.
back. I'm back. So we had that mindset. We had, but we enjoyed it. If you remember, we enjoyed it. We weren't looking forward. I mean, we wanted the chapter. We wanted to grow, but
We kind of knew
we
that
all
we needed,
yeah,
but it wasn't a
but
yeah,
it wasn't a race
yeah,
because we
yeah,
were
yeah.
enjoying and we were living the moment.
And it wasn't a hindering to it wasn't hindering what God was doing through us.
Exactly. So every season have to wait. Having said that, if you find yourself talking about when am I gonna get my, when am I gonna go up for a vote? When am I gonna be considered? Be able to get my patch? How do I? When? What are your reasons? Why are you rushing? Why are you trying to get to that point? Are you even ready for that point? Because you might think you're ready, but we know of so many cases where they jump steps, they skip steps, and then they
Um,
find themselves in situations where I wasn't ready.
Things happen, bro. Like that is, listen. One to me, that is one of the biggest dangers that cutting corners doesn't give you quality. That's the reality. Cutting corners doesn't give you quality, but the other stuff to me that is important is like just like when you're riding motorcycles and you're gunning it all the time, you're gonna run out of gas. Trying to go faster than where you're supposed to be going is going to you're gonna run out of stamina. You're gonna say it.
Yeah,
So I used to say, I used to say to my wife, I was a runner for I used to run, and 7 8 years ago, I don't know how long ago, and running was I used to love running, and it was a lot slimmer, so and it wasn't that difficult on my knees. I'm talking about 10 years ago. Osvaldo, what are you talking about? So anyhow, when you're running, there is something that you have to do, which is you have to pace yourself, because if you go too fast, you're not going to finish your circuit. You're not going to finish the three
yeah,
miles and I always was like 3 miles, but I would do the same. What is I tell you at the gym? Hey, pace yourself, man. Don't put all the energy on bench pressing. I know you want
yeah,
to, but pace yourself. Pace yourself.
yeah,
Measure your energy levels, and that's what happened. There is people that
yeah.
jump
You
into a
got
motorcycle club, into a motorcycle organization, and they become super prospect. And super prospect, who is going to be sour brother. Super prospect is a terrible brother. Super prospect, that doesn't exist. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself the time to learn about the culture, about your club. If you don't know your club history, take the time and take some rides. Get to meet some other brothers from other states, from other chapters. I mean, take the time. Don't be rushing anything. Pace yourself. It's important. Don't run out of the stamina, because this is when you're joining an organization like this. It's supposed to be forever. My organization forever, man. That's the expectancy. Nobody. We discussed this before. Nobody goes into a marriage thinking that, hey, I have the divorce lawyer already. Nobody does that, man.
Yeah.
Why even join, right?
Yeah. Before you continue, I mean, I think that one last analogy is those people that go to the tail of the dragon when they're not ready. What happens to them? They end up posting a piece of the bike on the tree of
Yes,
shame,
on the trail of
right?
shame.
Because they weren't ready for those twists to do. They wanted to
Hmm.
have that experience. So I think that you're absolutely right. You run out of the either you run out of gas or you run into the ditch. And I think that it's important to question your motives. Why?
Yeah,
Why do you want that
that's
patch?
there
Why
you
do
go.
you want that patch? What are you
Why do
looking
you want
for?
to rush? Why do you want to rush this process? Why? Why do you want to rush
Yeah.
it? What could be a patch? Could be, man. You know what? I need to. I'm going to get into an accelerated career for. I don't know. I want to be an EMT, but I'm going to do it in 3 months because, and I'm not gonna sleep, and I'm going to do it in 3 months, 2 months, whatever is the case, bro. Like I'm going to be a doctor in four semesters, because if an accelerated program. Why? What is the reason? And can you develop that, dude? We had that conversation this morning, and I thought it was, to me, that was the key of this conversation that we're having right now. Can you develop that a little bit?
Sure. So I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk from like the perspective of a ministry or a club. And we've talked about what we look for in a club or in the ministry. In ministry, we have a purpose, which is to minister. In your club, it's brotherhood, it's sharing time, it's developing relationship, right? That kinship with your brothers in the ministry, in the club. And I understand that we want to have, or people want to have the patch because that is an achievement. However, I always tell people, you don't need a patch to do ministry. You don't need a patch to testify and witness of us of the love of Jesus. And if you want to have brotherhood, a hang around or a prospect, they're hanging out, they're riding, and they may not have the voting privileges and they may not be able to, but that comes in time. So there are aspects of, I would say that perhaps maybe the like maybe 75% of what goes with being in the club, you have it. You don't have the full patch, but maybe you have the lower rocker, right? So
Do you
you're
know what else you
part of.
don't have
What's
when
that?
you're hanging around? You don't have to pay dues.
There you go, right? So when you think about it, you know, if you and what we were talking about this morning was why? What is motivating you to try to accelerate? And that if you can answer that question honestly, really just looking inside and saying, well, you know what? I want to have the patch because I just want to be able to ride with a patch. Maybe this isn't for you.
Yeah.
Riding around with a patch. It's about the responsibility that comes with the patch, right? And like I was saying, you want to minister, then minister. You want to have brotherhood, develop that brotherhood. Be there, be the best hang
Hmm.
around, be the best prospect. Do the best you can where you are, and in time you'll achieve what you want. But if you're trying to go ahead because that's what you want, once you get it, you're gonna say, "Ah, I thought it was something else."
I thought it was something
This
else.
this comes with a bunch of with a bag of problems. You know, what's
I,
this with dues? I gotta put money now. I have to go to all these mandatories, or now I have to show up to the dealership. You know, every couple of Saturdays. Man, I didn't. There you
I
go
didn't think this through.
because you didn't think it through.
And listen, and there's a difference between rushing the process or I'm being that person. So I'm going to shout out to my brother Phoenix in my chapter. You know him very well.
Mm.
So Phoenix, day one. Hey, nice to meet you. My name is, well, his name is a government given name. And Phoenix. Immediately, I stood up to go to the restroom, and this guy's following me, and I was like, the hell is wrong with this guy? So, if you don't know this, in the motorcycle culture, in motorcycle clubs culture, brothers, there's no brothers going paired everywhere, and it's most of the president is never left alone. So he was with me, and he signals my VP, hey, no, can I take care of this? That guy was a brother since day one. He was since the hang around. He it is. Let me tell you something. I think that is that's why it's so difficult for us to find someone and to bring someone to the table, because man, he set an standard as a prospect that I cannot tell you, man. That guy was since day one. He was
I can
acting
see that. I can
as
see
a
that happening.
brother.
I
He
can
was
see that
acting as a
happening.
brother, man. He was full on. There is no. I'm a brother. I belong to this. Not the patches yet, but I belong to this. What he didn't have the patches, but he had a sense of belonging that he was, which is what you're saying, right? Enjoy the brotherhood, um, and enjoy the fact that you don't have to pay dues. That there's no mandatory. There's no, oh my God, you have to be here. You have to do that. Um, so listen, when we rush, uh, dude, when we're working with our hands and we're doing something on a motorcycle and we're wrenching on a motorcycle and we're rushing, something's gonna happen. Uh,
Yeah.
if that's so with a motorcycle, imagine in life, man. So we need to try to keep it, um, to keep it, at your pace. Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, which is what you were saying before. Why are you rushing? What is the purpose of it?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of it?
It brings to mind what you right now that you were saying. You know, Critter he's a hell of a mechanic. Critter is just, he's up there. I respect his knowledge and his skill so much. And you know what I learned from Critter? He was doing some cams on a brother's bike in my garage. And he's done this process hundreds, if not thousands of times. And you know what he did, Ozzy? He was taking the time to look at the manual after each step that he was doing. He knows this by heart, but he took the time to make sure that he wasn't skipping any steps, that he wasn't going to make a mistake. And just like that, what we're talking about is when you take the time in these processes, you're going to save yourself from headaches and heartaches, because just imagine when you washer, you don't torque it to the right spec, or you forget to put in
There goes that angel, bro.
bro. Now,
There goes.
there goes the engine, and now you're thinking, man, what did I do? I mean, how many times have I been wrenching and I'm just tired? I've banged up my knuckles, and I forget, man, I put something and I tightened it up, and look, I didn't put this in, and now I have to do it again, right?
Yep.
So definitely, make sure that you're taking the time, and we have something right here, really important. New riders that are listening to us. We've always said the following: ride your ride to your skill level. If you're not comfortable doing something, don't do it. Don't feel the pressure. The pressure is, hey man, listen, just say, you know what? I'll meet you guys there. And I know that you guys, you tone it down to give your guests the opportunity to ride at a comfortable level. So do we. But there's some people that, they say, follow me and catch me if you can. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I'll catch you when I can, brother. And because what you don't want is to outrun your skill. Just the same way at night, we can't outrun our headlights because our headlight only reaches a certain distance.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
if you're going too fast, you're going to run into something that you didn't even see.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you're dealing with a whole other bag of problems. So really, learn that control, that self-control, and the patience. I love that song. So important.
Well, buddy. Listen, let's land this one, dude. Any final thoughts or recommendations for our people, man?
Man, you know what? Just enjoy it. Enjoy every moment. Enjoy every season. You know, if you're listening in your 20s, man, you're only 20 once. If you're 30s, in your 30s, you're only in your 30s once. So on and so forth. This is once in a lifetime. We don't get to do. There's no do-overs in life. You can start
There's no
over
hours in life.
many times, but it's starting over. It's not a do-over. You can't go back to my. I wish I could go back to my 20s. I can't. I can only deal with what I'm dealing now, and mistakes. If you make a mistake, learn from it. You know, but be mindful that very often mistakes can cost and have consequences. So if you make them, you make them. Deal with the consequence. But if you can avoid them, by all means, why not? That's a smart thing to do, right? And how do we do that? One thing, pray, read the word, take it easy, and talk it out. Chop it up with your brothers. If you need to, I think that it's important. I mean, Ozzy, when I'm at the gym and I'm trying to hit it hard, he tells me, take it easy, because he knows that further on in the routine, I'm going to be gassed out. So he tells me, he's a good brother. He tells me, take it easy, don't go crazy. So get yourself that brother that's going to tell you, take it easy.
For me, man, is enjoy every single step. I used to be the guy that said, I used to say, whenever I had this, whenever I had that, whenever I have a house, whenever I have a swimming pool, and I used to live in a complex. It was a complex, a community that had the most amazing swimming pool that I didn't have to pay, I didn't have to clean, I didn't have to think about it. I would just go in there and just take a dive, right? That was it. And I used to say, oh, whenever I have a swimming pool, I'm going to enjoy it so much. And I used to say, whenever I have a house, the problem is that when you get a house, nobody tells you that you have to clean the house. So I spent good 4 or 5 years of my life thinking, whenever I have this, and I never enjoy what I had. And I have so much, so many things. So
Say
I,
it. Preach it.
to me, it is enjoy every single step. Where it's in your career as a biker, enjoy every single step. Enjoy that beautiful motorcycle that God has given you. Enjoy that. Enjoy the roads. Man, there's so many people that come to us and said, "Oh my God, it's that Florida doesn't have the best roads. Florida is ugly, or Florida, whatever is the case." Man, it is the state that God has given us to ride. I'm going to enjoy my state. But
Yeah.
guess what? It's flat. Yeah, it's flat, but we're gonna
But
enjoy
we
our
ride all
the
year.
flag.
But we ride all year, baby.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we don't
And
we
when you
don't
come,
winterize. So yeah,
the thing is that we live where you want a vacation. That's
that's right.
boom. That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's 100%. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the idea of loving what you have and enjoying what you have. So those people that have the Sportster, ride it. Those people that
Ride
have
the
a
Spartan.
Softail, ride it. If you have a bagger, ride it. Don't get on your next. Don't lose sight of what you have for your next, because your next is gonna be the next, and then when you have that, what are you gonna want? Ozzy, what are you gonna want? Your next.
Something more.
Something
Next,
new.
the next. Something new because it's not new anymore. Now, if you have a Ducati, please trade that in. It's not from God.
Yes.
That's not from God. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so thank you so much for the time. You know how we do. Like, subscribe, share this. If
Yes.
this is adding anything to your life, please do let us know. I will put it in the comments. Here we are for you guys. Thank you so much.
Be
Have a
blessed.
good. Be blessed. Thank you, guys.
Yes.